All right, let's jump right in. We're about to break down one of the most unbelievable business stories I think I have ever heard. Seriously, it's a journey that kicks off in a place with absolutely nothing and somehow ends with a multi-billion rupee empire that's taking on giants like PepsiCo.
And this quote right here, it really sets the stage for everything. What you're about to hear is just this incredible testament to resilience. It proves that sometimes the absolute toughest circumstances can end up forging the greatest successes. And this just perfectly illustrates the sheer scale of that change. I mean, on one side, you've got Chandubai Virani, a teenager with literally nothing, living in a village that doesn't even have electricity. And on the other, the founder of Balaji Wafers, a massive company. So how on earth do you get from point A to point B? Well, that's what we're here to unpack.
So let's rewind. We're going back to the 1970s. And this story, it doesn't start with some grand business plan or a big vision. Nope. It starts with a desperate fight just to survive. And that foundation is what everything else was built on.
Just try to picture this for a second. A tiny village, no power at all, and a family of farmers just watching their land completely dry up. The rains failed them, not just once, but twice in a row. Their crops died, and you can imagine their hopes pretty much died along with them. This was the world the Virani family knew, a world of just constant, grinding struggle. And this is the turning point. Their father, Popatbai, he sells the family's very last piece of land. He hands his sons this exact sum, 20,000 rupees, and basically says, go to the city and build a new life for us. Now, you have to understand, this wasn't just money, it was literally the weight of their entire family's future, all in that one small sum.
Okay, so now they have that money and this immense responsibility on their shoulders. The brothers get to the city of Rajkot. But, this city wasn't exactly rolling out the red carpet for them.
So they try what they know, farm equipment. But they're young, they're inexperienced, and they get tricked by a trader who sells them fake stuff. And just like that, within 2 years, the entire 20,000 rupees was gone. Every last bit of it. They had completely and utterly failed, and going back home to their village, that just wasn't an option.
So check out the sheer drop here. From trying to be businessmen, Chandubai ends up as a canteen boy at the local movie theater, earning just 90 rupees a month. They were so poor at one point, they actually had to run away from their room in the middle of the night because they couldn't afford the 50 rupee rent. This was absolute rock bottom.
But it's here, in this incredibly humble job, that he learns his first huge lesson. He treated every single task, no matter how small, like it was a sacred duty. He never saw any job as beneath him. He just worked like crazy, earning the trust of his boss, and, without even knowing it, he was laying the groundwork for everything that was to come.
And this right here, this is the pivot. After years of just barely scraping by, and everyday frustration in that cinema canteen suddenly looks less like a problem and more like a golden opportunity.
So here's the daily headache. The potato wafers they sold were super popular, but the suppliers were just awful. The deliveries were always late, the quality was all over the place, and customers were complaining. Chandubai tried one supplier, then another, then a third, but the problem just would not go away.
And this is where he develops his second mantra: look for solutions, not problems. Instead of just complaining about it, he saw a gap in the market. What if they could control the quality? What if they could make sure the supply was always there? The solution was so simple, but so powerful. They were going to make the chips themselves.
And just look at these humble beginnings. This wasn't some high-tech, venture capital-funded startup. It was literally a shed in the backyard. They were so resourceful, they actually had a crucial machine custom-built for half the price it would normally cost. Chandubai would finish his long shift at the cinema, then come home and work all night, frying potatoes, experimenting, just perfecting the recipe through sheer exhausting trial and error.
So, from that tiny backyard operation, they started building a real industrial powerhouse. This is where that hardcore dedication starts to meet massive scale.
I mean, this chart really says it all. The demand for their high-quality wafers just exploded. By 1989, they took out their first big loan to build an actual factory. Fast forward to 2009, and they were already the #1 player in their home state, beating out massive companies like Lay's. And today, a mind-blowing 60 billion rupees in revenue every year.
And this little story just tells you everything about his mindset.
When the expensive new machines in their factory would break down, he couldn't afford the insane repair bills. So, this man, with only a 10th grade education, he just sat down, studied the machines, and taught himself how to fix them. He was absolutely determined to understand every single part of his business, inside and out.
So, how did they manage to keep the family business together when so many others fall apart? Well, Chandu Bai explains it with this really powerful analogy from two great Indian epics. He says they avoid the path of the Mahabharata, where greed and conflict led to total destruction. Instead, they follow the path of the Ramayana, which is all about compassion, teamwork, and mutual respect, allowing them to overcome every single obstacle, together.
So, what are the big takeaways from this incredible journey? The story of Balaji Wafers, it's not really just about potato chips, it's about a powerful philosophy that you can pretty much break down into 5 core principles.
Okay, these are the keys to the whole thing. We've already seen the first 2 in action. Number 3, grab all opportunities is all about acting decisively once you've done your homework. Number 4, be devoted is about loving what you do so much that it just becomes a part of who you are. But honestly, it's number 5 that really truly sets them apart from everyone else.
And this quote right here is the whole game. Balaji does not use a push strategy. In fact, they have no sales targets for their employees at all. They believe that if you just make a product that people genuinely love and you make it easy for them to get it, the demand will just pull it through the market on its own. They see their job as simply fulfilling that demand, providing a service, not making a sale.
And this is what that philosophy looks like in the real world. It's an entire ecosystem built on making sure everyone is happy. From the farmers they buy potatoes from, to the distributors, to their own 7,000 employees. They believe that for the business to truly succeed, everyone involved has to succeed right along with them. It's all about shared growth, not just taking all the profit for yourself.
And that leaves us with this one last thought. Chandu Bai Virani's entire billion-dollar empire was born from a simple, annoying, everyday problem: unreliable potato chip suppliers. So, the question you should ask yourself is this: what is your biggest, most frustrating problem right now? Because buried deep inside it, there might just be your greatest opportunity.